Alright, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Christian, but you already knew that. And the Premier League is about to begin. And you know what that means. We have to drop our Premier League predictions in hopes that I'm right. This is my chance to prove my footy knowledge, to prove that I am that guy. I already am that guy, but I just need to prove it to you guys, But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with these predictions, because I feel like the Premier League season is going to be very interesting this year, especially with how teams are getting closer in terms of competitiveness. They're getting a lot closer in terms of footballing styles as well. So I feel like the season is going to be really good, but we're going to start straight from the bottom and we're going to go back up. So in at number 20, I unfortunately have Luton Town. I don't think they're gonna do well. The odds are stacked against them. They have a small stadium, small everything. I mean, it's just I haven't heard much about them in the transfer window either. So I feel like they're gonna lack a little bit of quality, so they're going down. And along with them in 19th place is none other than Sheffield United. Listen, I like Sheffield, but the last time they were in the Premier League, they went down, and I think they only had like 10. No, I think it was less. It was like 5 points to their name. So I mean, I don't really think they're gonna do well this season. And they've also been selling all of their good players. So, if anything, they might actually be 20th. Louis might be above them, but we're going to stick with that for now. So, in 18th place, with a little bit of second season syndrome, Bournemouth are going down. I can't explain it, but Bournemouth are going to be going down as well. I feel like not much from them either. Had a good season last season and managed to stay up, but I feel like this season they have met their match and are going to be going up and they're going to be going down. Yeah. So following them in 17th place, Crystal Palace. Where are they? Here they are. Crystal Palace going into 17th place. I feel like the lack of Wilfred Zaha is going to affect Palace a lot more than many of us think. They're also going to have a new manager, so I feel like there's going to be a little bit of a dip in form, but they're going to save themselves. But if anything, I genuinely think it's going to be very close between Crystal Palace or Bournemouth to go down. Either one of them can go down. I think it's going to go down to literally the last game, or maybe like a goal difference type of thing. That's how we're going to know which one of them is actually going to go down. And then 16th place, moving on, I have got Nottingham Forest. They saved themselves last time. They've done a little bit more activity in the transfer window. They had basically a whole refresh of a squad last season, mid-season, but again, I don't think it's going to be enough to push them higher up into the table, around the top 10, around there into the top half. But it's going to be enough to stay in the Premier League, maybe with a little bit of drama here and there, but it's going to be enough to stay in the Premier League, so they're fine. And then 15th place, I actually have Everton. Where's 15? There's 15. I have Everton. Again, I think there was 2 years that they had straight where they were fighting almost relegation. Last season, they were ridiculously close. I mean, really close. This season, I think, has to be the improvement season. They might surprise me, but I don't think they're going up higher up than 15th. Like, I'm for sure that they're not going to get relegated, but they're not exactly going to be surprising either. I feel like it's going to be enough football to save themselves and then maybe invest a bit more money in the transfer market. I mean, I'm not entirely sure, but I think that's how we're going to stick with it. And actually, in 14th place is Wolves themselves. They lost Ruben Neves, and I feel like that's going to come and bite them in a bit. You lost your captain, and again, I haven't heard much activity in terms of the transfer market for them. So I feel like 14th is just a nice little place to stick there. They're not getting relegated, I can tell you that for sure. They're not going to be down there at all. But Portugal FC, I mean, Wolves are going to be perfectly fine, but they're just going to have an average season in 14th place. Above them, I actually do have Brexit Ball themselves, but they don't play Brexit Ball anymore. But Vincent Kompany's Burnley. They won the championship, and they won it pretty well. They have kind of like the Pep Guardiola standpoint coming from them with Vincent Kompany, obviously playing for City and having played under Pep Guardiola. But I feel like the Premier League is going to be a bit more different for them this season. It's not going to be like the championship. Obviously, it's not. They're going to struggle a bit, but they're going to be fine. As with most teams that get promoted from the championship, that first season they do pretty well. Then the second season is where it's hit. But I feel like Burnley have done very well. They dropped to the championship and have immediately come back up. So I think they're going to be fine. They're going to survive. A bit harsh here and there, but they're going to do rather well compared to other teams, especially compared to the other two teams that got promoted with them. In 12th place, I actually do have West Ham themselves as well. They lost Declan Rice, and I mean, I've heard they're going after Maguire and after, I think, McTominay. I mean, it's alright. I feel like West Ham's they have to have that dip in form. They did last season, but again, I feel like with the loss of your captain, you're not exactly mentally there, if that makes sense. They're gonna lack a bit of football here and there, but they're gonna be fine. It's just gonna be a rather season for them. So 12th place is where it's gonna be for them. In 11th place, I have Brentford. Yep, I've got myself a little bit of Brentford. No Ivan Toney. I still think Brentford's a very good team, even without Ivan Toney. If they get themselves a striker, they're going to be fine. But the lack of Ivan Toney, I think, is going to be for half of the season, if I'm not wrong. They're going to struggle a bit here and there, but they're obviously going to create chances, as well as the loss of David Raya. Actually, they might be a bit lower down, because they just lost. I made these predictions before they lost David Raya. No, I'm sticking with it. They're going to be fine. In 11th, they're going to be higher up than others people think, but if anything, it's going to they're going to fall maybe because of David Raya. I'm thinking about my own decisions. I'm keeping Brentford there. In 10th place, I've got Fulham. They had a really great season last season. I think they're going to continue with that step. They're going to continue with that pace, go up at it against, and I think 10th place would be a nice little season for them. And they're obviously a lot better than most people would think, but I think 10th is rather good. They had a good season last season. They kind of lacked here and there. They might push a little further this time, might go higher up, but I think 10th is practically where we should expect Fulham to be this season. In 9th place, we have got Brighton. Again, they were close to getting into was it the Champions League or the Europa League last season? I don't remember, but they were really close to getting somewhere. Again, a little bit of dip in form. You've lost a few players here and there. I think the fact that they're keeping Caicedo is going to be crucial for them. But I think just 9th is where Brighton are going to be. They've been playing some really good football over the past couple of seasons, and this season is going to be no other. If anything, I kind of expect them to be challenging up a little more up here, but I think 9th is a safe little place to go. I don't want to be, completely crazy with it. But 8th place is Spurs, and I don't want to hear it. Spurs are horrible. They are horrible. No transfer news. They're about to lose Kane. And if they lose Kane, I'm genuinely certain they're going to be lower. But I don't know. Spurs are lacking for me, and they've been lacking over the past few seasons. They're an aging squad. They're not exactly producing talent. They're not buying talent either. So I feel like 8th place is going to be right there for them, missing out in Europe yet again. But I don't know. Spurs need to fix themselves. I can tell you that for sure. But 8th place for Spurs, you heard it here first. 7th place above them is going to be Aston Villa. Aston Villa, they've done really good transfer business. They got Tielemans. They're in Europe this season as well. I think they're in the Conference League. And I think they're going to stay in that same, under Unai Emery, they're going to keep with that same poise, that same pace. And they're going to push it up to 7th place. They're going to get Conference League again. But, this is the Europe, this is the playoffs, isn't it? I don't remember. I completely forgot how the table works. But yeah, Aston Villa, they're going to be higher up. They've been pushing very well. They've been playing very well as well. They've also got it themselves. What's the guy from Leverkusen's name? I can't remember his name. It's not Bailly, it was the other one. Diaby. They've got some Diaby, and that's going to be an excellent winger for them. So, up there, 7th. I think it's perfect for Aston Villa. In the 6th place, I have got Liverpool. Why do I have them in 6th place? I have to do a switcheroo here, but as of right now, I didn't think about that all the way. I have Liverpool in 6th place, although I do think they might be higher up. They completely refreshed their midfield. Jordan Henderson gone, Milner's gone, and they got Szoboszlai, Alexis McAllister, and alongside Darwin Núñez and Cody Gakpo. I think this is the season where Liverpool kind of turn it around. I think they have to be higher up. I'm gonna move them around. I'm gonna move Liverpool around for sure, but it gets kind of picky up here in the top half of the top 6, but keeping Liverpool there for now, although I think they might have a better season. But the loss of Jordan Henderson might, from leadership standpoint, kind of affect them, but we'll see. We'll see. So 6th place Liverpool, I think a little bit of a dip in form. 5th place I have Chelsea. No, I have it backwards. There we go. 5th place I have Chelsea. and that's gonna have to change. But I have hopes for Chelsea this season because of Mauricio Pochettino, and they brought in more players. I don't know where Chelsea's getting all this money. They need to be investigated. I guess it's crazy how much money they have. They should donate some to Barca, no cap. But I think with all the new players coming in and the fact that Pochettino is going to change how they play, they're going to be higher up this season for sure. They're not going to have the disaster season they had last season. But actually, I'm going to go ahead and switch them with Liverpool right now. I think they're going to be better, but they're not going to be fantastic. I already see the injuries are coming in with Nkunku having an injury, so there might be some injuries there. But 6th place, I think, will be fine for them. Liverpool's going to go up to 5th. And now we get into the top 4, which is where most of us have fun. Champions League positions, the positions you want to be in terms of the Premier League. And in 4th place, I have Manchester United. I think they have the squad to do it, to go higher up for sure. But I feel like 4th place, because they're United, they tend to have some slips here and there. But I feel like United's going to be around that 3rd, 4th. They're not going to be fighting for the title for sure. I'm certain of that. But they are going to be within the 3rd and 4th position throughout the whole season. But they're going to lose out the 3rd place to Newcastle. I think Newcastle are going to go ahead and be in the top 4 again. Although it might be very close between Newcastle and United. I think Newcastle just edge United up into 3rd place. We're going to see how the Champions League affects Newcastle actually this season. They also lost St. Maximin and a few other players here and there. But I think Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes might be a good player to replace St. Maximin. It's not a direct replacement for sure, but he can get the job done. So Newcastle in there, and then I think City are going to be 2nd this season. I don't think the Premier League is going to be their main focus. I think because they won the Champions League last season, they feel like they have to go and fight for it again. So I feel like Pep Guardiola's full focus is going to be on the Champions League more than the Premier League. Although with the squad that City has, it's really good. I mean, they could just win anything. They can win everything all over again. There's nothing stopping them. But I feel like because you have so many Premier Leagues and you just won your first Champions League, you want to go ahead and focus on defending your reign and going for another Champions League. So he might go for that. That's what City's going to be on. And then I think that Arsenal, this year, Arsenal actually goes ahead and wins it. If all their players can stay fit. If all players stay healthy, Arsenal wins the league. I don't think they're going to do well in the Champions League. They're going to have an exit around like the quarterfinals. But they're going to do well this season, for sure. Arteta has completely changed how Arsenal works. But I think this year is the year they actually win it. Because they got their goal of staying in the top 4. And I feel like they're going to stay in the top 4 regardless this season as well. But this season, I think they have that sour taste of losing the league last season, especially so late into the season, that they're going 100% towards that towards the Premier League to win the whole thing. So that's what I think is going to happen this season. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me go up from it all the way. Let's go from the bottom up. I'm going to give you my rundown. So, in 20th place, we've got Luton Town, 19th, Sheffield United, 18th, Bournemouth, 17th, Crystal Palace, 16th, Nottingham Forest, 15th, Everton, 14th, Wolverhampton Wanderers, 13th is going to be Burnley, 12th, West Ham United, 11th, Brentford, 10th, Fulham, 9th, Brighton, 8th, Spurs, 7th, Villa, 6th, Chelsea, 5th, Liverpool, 4th is going to be Manchester United, 3rd, Newcastle United. Runners-up are going to be Manchester City, and Champions League winners are going to be Arsenal FC. So that's my Premier League predictions for this season. Let me know in the comments below who you guys think is going to win, who's going to get relegated. Are there any teams that are going to surprise us this season? And if you guys like this type of content, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, click a like on this video, comment some other things down there. And as always, I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. Peace.